Yes! Oh, there we go. The news. We were waiting. I was refreshing the entire time. It is 2:17 right now as I record this piece of audio. My throat, it's kind of congested still. Don't know if talking at this volume is really gonna hurt my sinuses in a few hours, but we had ourselves the update. The Montreal Canadiens will not match the Carolina Hurricanes offer sheet to Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Montreal will receive Carolina's first and third round 2022 draft picks as compensation. We spoke about this in the previous video. This is like 30%. I'd say 30% of the way through of fulfilling what was that Twitter account that we were talking about in the previous video, saying that the Canadiens are destined to trading for Christian Dvorak after this KK drama is over. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, man, from 2018 to 2021, third overall surprise pick, should have gone later, maybe, but he was, there we go, there's a notification on my phone. Breaking news, Sportsnet says Canadiens decline to match the Hurricanes offer sheet for KK. I'm going to go ahead and put my phone on Do Not Disturb mode so we don't have any more notifications bothering the audio recording. But I don't know what to feel, man. I'm just kind of like super hyped up because I'm like, yeah, the best move in this situation would have been to not match the offer sheet. And it's kind of funny because everybody that I saw, not everybody, a good chunk of people that I saw on social media, you know, the fans, the people who fill up the seats and who watch from their TVs. These are the ones that I was like, yeah, everybody is saying on social media that the Canadiens should not match. But we had so many people in the media, not social media, but the media, you know, like the TVs, the radio stations and all that, the people who are actually, you know, getting paid as journalists to cover NHL topics and whatnot. We had a lot of those people saying, yeah, I think the Canadiens, it's going to be a tough decision, but they're ultimately going to match it because just look at the optics, you know, take a look at the circumstances, take away the idea of who KK is as a player and what he has done on the ice, just take a look at the status, you know, third overall. You get this third overall guy, he is your big mainstay, number 2 center, and everybody's thinking that he's going to be this not franchise, I'm hyperbolizing, just elite guy down the line. And 3 years later, you lose him to an offer sheet, and you don't end up taking it back. You have the option to match the offer sheet and keep him around, your third overall pick from 2018, but you say nah, and it's only 3 years later, they're going to match it. We had a lot of people in the media saying things like that, but I don't know, man. Is it really that big of a deal that he was taken third overall, and because he was taken third overall, automatically it's like, okay, you have to match it because, hey, he's your third overall pick. You know how important that is? You're taking a look at things with the history books as your eyeglasses here. You're taking a look at it and saying, wow, a third overall pick getting offer sheeted and they let him go. This is not any third overall pick that is in that, I don't know, name me a third overall pick that has been fantastic right off the bat. In 2018, it was KK. In 2017, you had yourselves that Miro Heiskanen. He's fantastic. If it was an offer sheet for Miro Heiskanen, you'd probably want to match that one. In 2016, guess who you had? Pierre-Luc Dubois. Hey, he's pretty okay. But can you go out there and say that the Dubois, the Miro Heiskanens, go back to 2015, Dylan Strome, he doesn't count. 2014, you had yourselves, who was it? Ekblad, Reinhardt, was it Draisaitl? Yeah, Draisaitl, fantastic right there. Can you say that KK was in that territory of any of those guys? No, you cannot. KK has underperformed. And I know a lot of Canadiens fans are going to be like, oh, yeah, he underperformed and all that stuff, which is definitely true. And as a result, it's like, okay, you're paying this guy $6 million. It's just way too much. The Canadiens, they cannot afford to look at the optics of the third overall pick label and decide whether or not they'll match it or not based off of that. They have to decide based off of the caliber of a player that KK is right now, what we think he is going to be able to accomplish next season when he will be getting a qualifying offer that is in that $6.1 million range as well. and you take a look at the rest of the salary cap structure of this team, complied with how exactly KK is as a player himself. And as a player, KK is not $6 million caliber. Sure, I've said it this entire time, he can be that sometime down the line, but he's not guaranteed in the slightest of being that, which is why Montreal fans are saying, yeah, okay, yeah, let him go. I mean, a first and a third's pretty good, especially in a deep draft like this one, which means that they could go out there and use that leverage of a strong draft and be like, okay, Arizona, for example, here's a first-round pick from a really good 2022 draft. You'll take this pick, we'll take Dvorak, whatever, it's good. And, I mean, look, the first-round pick from Carolina is probably going to be somewhere in the 20-plus range because Carolina, Carolina's a pretty good regular season team. But either way, this 2022 draft, deeper than the 2021 draft by far. So it's going to be really interesting to see where that pick lies, who eventually holds that pick when the draft comes around, and who gets selected in that spot for the KK offer sheet compensatory pick package. But either way, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, sure, he does have a really high ceiling, and I know Carolina Hurricanes fans have been really pushy, actually, about getting KK and seeing the way he develops on their squad. I'd been scrolling through the Carolina Hurricanes social media fan bases and subreddits and all that stuff, and the sentiment from that organization, firstly, they're kind of laughing their behinds off because they're trolling the Canadiens and they did it properly. Don't worry, I'm not going to harp on you guys for that. But a lot of the Carolina fan base I've seen has been really excited in seeing this third overall pick come over to their organization and just try to gauge, how exactly is this guy going to develop long term? You have a lot of centers on that organization already, so you're likely going to play him on the wing, and who knows, maybe with less responsibility down the middle, maybe with more room on the sidelines to do what it is that KK does best, which is rip pucks and send some nice passes out front, you could see a pretty good development path for KK in the Carolina system. I said it the entire time, man, he could be a $6 million player. It's just the way he was developing in Montreal, the way he was used in this system, it really wasn't getting done in the way that people hoped it would. So for KK, hey, you got your payday. Fantastic for you, man. Definitely no fault for Jesperi Kotkaniemi himself for accepting what was a very, very generous contract. I know a lot of Canadiens, players themselves, if you just go off of what Nick Suzuki said. You remember the Suzuki comments on Dale Weiss's podcast? He's happy for KK because, hey, he got a payday. If you're going to go out there to your job and let's say you're worth, I don't know, $11 an hour. I don't know if that's the minimum wage in other places or whatever. If it isn't, then hey, my bad. But if you're getting $11 an hour from your job and your biggest competitor goes out there, they send you an email, hey, join us. We'll give you $33 an hour and we'll use the hiring of you as somewhat of a joke, a big F you to your current employing party. Would you say yes to that? Yes, you would. You'd get paid a whole bunch more money, despite the fact that you're going to be going to a rival organization, a rival company or whatever, and sure, they might use you as a meme for their interpersonal relations, but you're getting paid 3 times the amount of money that you're actually worth. You take that 10 out of 10 times. That's what KK did. No fault for him. You're getting paid. Fantastic. I hope he goes to Carolina. He slays. He does fantastic over there. It's going to be really funny now, seeing the fact that Carolina has the second and third overall picks from the 2018 NHL Entry Draft. I'm getting some major Columbus vibes over here, man. Major Columbus vibes. You have yourselves what was a Blue Jackets team that had themselves the second overall pick in 2016 in Patrick Laine. They held on to the third overall pick in 2016 in Pierre-Luc Dubois. They traded him for Laine. And now you have yourselves another situation here where it's like, wow, Carolina has the second and third overall picks from the 2018 NHL Entry Draft. How funny is that? Not to mention the fact that New Jersey has 2019's first and 2017's first as well. Yeah, a lot of weird parallels going on with these NHL teams and top draft picks in the drafts. But either way, Carolina, enjoy your new Finnish center, maybe winger, probably winger, but I'm not really too sure. Hopefully he goes out there and plays up to his $6 million price tag. If he doesn't, then we'll talk about that another day. But the way things have gone down right now, Goodbye, Jesperi Kotkaniemi from Montreal. We'll see what the Habs do with the picks and what they eventually decide to trade for to make up for that center core, because come on, look, a center core of Suzuki, Evans, Paling, and Paquette is not good enough to follow up a Stanley Cup final appearance, so we'll see what happens, but talk to me in the comments, what do you think? KK is going to Carolina. Goodbye from Montreal. It's been 3 years of not really ever showing up to the expectation, but you know what it is, what it is. Talk to me in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed this, Mr. Ash Rolls 99, and bye.